Hello, 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 hello. I was trying to, thank you for listening. This is Taking Back Radio. I haven't done one of these in a minute, as I usually am not doing this bitch consistently. Um, it's Taking Back Radio. Thank you for listening. Thank you for clicking on. I've been trying to get a little theme going, right? A little theme song going. This is Bittersweet by Lay Haves. Leanna? I don't know. LLH is the initials that I'm giving her. So LLH, this is her. She's amazing, black singer. But I also feel like I should have something a little bit more independent that's original. You know what I mean? So, I'm working on that shit. This is again not a vinyl, so I guess that's that. Okay, boom. Let's get started though. I think I can really tell when a friendship is just not worth being a friend to. And it's been moments like these that I often step back from. I step back and I have to get another point of view. I have to like really walk out of this place I thought it was, this disillusionment, this disillusionment, all the syllables, all the words, all the letters in that fucking word. But I had to it helps me. It helps me ground myself and get a better grip on what's going on around me, because I actually love to think that everybody's my friend, you know what I'm saying? And not only that is everybody's my friend, but everybody's almost like family. I would love to think that everybody's almost like family, but people are nothing like friends in the first place. So for me to even jump the gun, you know what I'm saying, for them, you know what I'm saying, it's not even their doing, it's not even their want. It makes it all crash in the middle, and I hate that shit. You feel me? Not necessarily hate, but it hits differently. I'm going to I think I'm gonna turn these down, right? But I don't know if you guys can hear it also. That's another thing. One other another thing. My phone is stupid as hell now, so I gotta plug in my headphones. Yeah, it just fell and bumped his head. So now my people's is a little crippled, cricket, all that shit. But no, like I was saying, I don't like being used myself. You feel me? And I was actually just talking to my brother about thinking about. I was talking to my brother. What was I just talking about? Individuality. Boom. I was talking to my brother about individuality and how I liked people who are a little bit more original and a little bit more independent. You know what I'm saying? That draws me towards them in a big way, because it's like I see nurturing, I see passionate, I see like devotion. You know what I'm saying? Focused. You know what I'm saying? And for me to really know myself, and I think that's another reason why I crash with so many people, because they don't really know themselves. And I know that's a pretty like that's a pretty big stretch, because you know what I'm saying, I barely know them, for one. But two, and then you know what I'm saying, too, how am I gonna say that they don't know themselves? Well, I feel like pretty easily. I mean, I'm not, you know what I'm saying, God or Jesus or whatever like that, if they're a thing. Yes, I'm open-minded, okay? I'm not saying that there isn't, I'm not saying that there is, but, not the point. It just, I feel like it's more room to build on top of something that's already built, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm somebody that that kind of is directional already with a lot of things I do. Like, I just kind of know where I'm heading, you know what I mean, because of the independence, and because of the free imagination that I have, you know what I'm saying, and the head that I leave with. I just, I love everything I do, you feel me? I'm not like narcissistic, and I'm not like other words to just be focused on yourself. I'm not that. You know what I'm saying? Like I look out and but this is the thing though, when I'm looking out, I always try to see if there's other buildings looking the same way, and other buildings being other people and shit like that. If they're all facing the sun, you know what I'm saying, they may be better partners or better friendships that way, you know what I'm saying? But it's so hard because, you know what I'm saying, everybody has their own path. And for me, you know what I'm saying, I treat people with the same respect I like to be treated with, right? And that's something I learned when I was younger. When I was young, just to have respect, you know what I'm saying, and just like be upfront with people. I have learned this word. I haven't learned it, but I just looked up the definition for it because I don't be looking up for that. And that's the other thing I realized. Like, I be saying a lot of words that I never, ever looked up the definition for, but I'm using it, and, you know what I'm saying, I'm playing tricks with it, you know what I'm saying, I'm very talented with the words and shit like that, but I never really knew what it was like originally defined for. So morality is the decision making between right and wrong, I think, right? And I looked that word up today. I was hearing it a lot. I looked it up just to, like, you know what I'm saying, see what it was. So it's basically principles concerning the distinction between right or wrong. So yeah, right or wrong behavior, you know what I'm saying? And I think I have a pretty set mindset on that shit. You feel me? Like, if something looks bad or if feelings, like, I'm an emotional person, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I like display my emotions as much as I do, you feel me? But I am, you know what I mean? I don't intentionally like react to things that I could be responding to, but at the same time I will look back and I will self-reflect, you know what I'm saying? That's another thing. A lot of people, you can really tell the difference between people that work on themselves and people that don't work at themselves at all, you feel me? And people that don't even like want to even go that route, you know what I'm saying? But it's so stupid to even think like that because you're eventually gonna have to do that in anyway, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's one of the things, like, I feel like you're eventually going to be individual, an individual person when you grow up and shit like that. So starting off, you feel me, and just like starting off with this friendship of like, oh, you have your shit and I have my shit, that doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying, we can't like talk about it, you feel me? But do we have to merge and shit like that? And that's the thing with me too. Like, I don't like clingy people, girlfriends. I don't like, you know what I'm saying, just like needy people. I hate needy people because, I mean, in my opinion, not that you shouldn't need people, but it's a lot. It's a lot to really take in. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you want somebody to be there for you just in case if you need somebody to be there for you. You know, it's too much work on both ends. You know what I'm saying? And me, I don't want to say I'm too busy for people, but that just may be it. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people think there is, but there's actually nothing wrong with that. I actually respect people more if they said they're doing something or they have something to do, they're too busy right now to talk to me, because that shows me that not only are they responsible, but they can handle, you know what I'm saying, what I, you know, quote unquote need from this relationship, which is just communication or just like the simplest shit. You know what I'm saying? Just a hi and bye, a greeting, just something little, you feel me? To show me that you're aware of what's happening or who I am or, you know what I'm saying, what we are type shit. Like, you know, it makes it easier for the both of us, I would think, I would hope. But at the same time, right, like, me thinking that being an individual and, you know, having your own thing and having your own space and, you know, owning this, owning that, da 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 da, is the best way. It actually is a double-edged sword because it's sometimes it's harder for me to give myself to somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I know it shouldn't be easy at all, actually. It shouldn't be easy at all. But I know for me personally, if I'm trying to talk to a female or whatever like that, if I'm trying to get to know a girl and she is, you know what I'm saying, doing all the right things, I may be feeling weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a true shit. Like, if she's doing everything she's supposed to do, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote, whatever the fuck case may be, I may be weird because she's like, she could do both type shit. You know what I'm saying? I have more problems with this with you know, relationships than actual friendships and shit like that. And friendships, I've had my fair share of those too. Like, I ain't gonna lie, recently I just kind of had to back away from this friendship. You feel me? Like, it really shot me down. But this friendship shot me down. It was a friendship that I knew so much about, and I wanted to know more. I wanted more. You know, I wasn't being needy. I wasn't being clingy. But I knew under everything, there was still more to it. You feel me? Like, there was still, I know we didn't got to this level and shit like that, but, you know, at a certain time, you feel me, you build up a certain comfortability with a person and you have expectations. You feel me? And you start having these things that you expect to see or, you know what I'm saying, you think is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it does. You feel me? But for me, I feel like I play a role on both sides. You feel me? Like, it comes in handy and it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, it falls in my lap and sometimes it falls on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And even in my lap, it'd be goddamn, you know what I'm saying? The spaghetti, I have a plate of spaghetti, it fall in my lap. Sometimes the spaghetti would still fall, but it just fall on the floor. You know what I mean? So, but what do I mean by this? But what I mean by this is just like people, and me, I should say, me and people, with this particular friendship, they just told me they don't need me. That's basically what they told me. Like, if I'm being honest with myself right now, if I'm being honest with you guys or whoever's listening, I was told that they didn't need me. You know what I mean? No matter however they thought, or like, they just told me they didn't need me. Like, they didn't say that though. You feel me? Like, this the thing too. Like, I'm a very metaphorical philosopher, thinker. You feel me? Very open-minded. Anything could be anything. You know what I'm saying? And it can also be everything at the same time. Like, I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like, I play both sides of the fence and shit like that. Everything has a reason, and some things just don't have a reason at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything could have a reason, or none of it has a reason. It's really either or. But anyways, boom. They done told me though, right? In that instance, I kind of felt relieved. You know, I kind of felt relieved. I kind of felt it, but it was weird though. It wasn't this immediately, but once they had told me what they said, which was, you know, they don't need me, because I was basically offering, because I offer my help to people, right? And how I did that was I basically was telling my mans, it was a dude, I was telling my homeboy, like, yo, G, let me know if you need to talk. And he just said that no. He said, I'm good. I don't want to talk. You feel me? But the thing is, what happens when you know what's best for a person, but the person doesn't want to believe that? You feel me? Doesn't want to believe that there is a best for themselves. Like, how in the fuck are you going to stay in that position and try to act like you're comfortable? You're just not comfortable, bro. It's just not happening the way you think it is. And that's okay. You feel me? And that, like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But, you know what I'm saying? It gets a little difficult to even deal with, you feel me, to even be friends with, if you're just gonna say no. Like, I'm not saying that they didn't say they don't want to be my friend anymore, but I was just told, like, you don't have to be such a close friend. Like, you basically didn't have to be close friends. And I know and it's so crazy because I'm a firm believer in past, present, and future. You know what I'm saying? And that being a circle and you being in the middle of it, you being present and time in the future is like chasing each other around you and shit like that. I kind of feel like there's a force field of this person's past on them, and he's defending it, you know. And for people like me, like I said, I'm very emotional. Like I really like I get really into relationships. You know what I'm saying? I don't have attachment issues, which I just saw a tweet on that. It was like attachment is worse than being in love, and I honestly full-fledged believe that shit just because I had something that was like very like in the same realm of that shit. But I just really love people. You feel me? And it's really easy for me to love. Like I don't take it with a grain of salt. You feel me? Like with a grain. How does this shit say? I always try to say that shit, but I never remember how it's like originally said. Therefore, I always mess up in saying it. But I don't take it with a grain of salt. I think that's what it is. I don't take it with a grain of salt. You feel me? I take a handful of that bitch and I put it in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because I love sugar and I'm very sweet. Hence the name Black Sugar. But at the same time, you can't do that shit with salt. You know what I mean? You can't do that shit with salt. You know what I'm saying? You can't be sweet and still be salty at the same time and expect that shit to become one flavor. So, in the midst of all this, right? I had to say okay to it. I had to be upfront, you know what I'm saying, and just leave it alone. That's how upfront was. And I'm a person whereas, like, if you do something once, you know what I'm saying, I try to look what people's patterns are. I have a couple things that, like, just trigger for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I see a new thing, you ever see something and then you're, like, automatic thoughts already start to like going in. Like if you just seen somebody get hit by a car, and then you could see somebody else coming from I don't know crossing the street and shit like that, you're gonna think they just got hit by a car. That's exactly what I do all the time in my head with people and situations and shit like that. But it gets broad though. It doesn't get specific. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that person is hurt, and that person just came from this other. Like you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit that does to, I mean, you have to explain it. I don't feel like explaining it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just say that I just had to leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? I just had to leave him alone because I knew how strong he was. You know what I'm saying? This is when you got to believe in your friends. You got to believe in these people and shit like that. And even though a bit of my feelings was hurt, you know what I'm saying? After he told me to like, you know, just let it go and trying to talk to this nigga about him always being mad, it was just like, okay then, you know. And it's so crazy because I always try to like put situations like this in other perspectives and other situations that I go through day to day or already had and shit like that, and it always matches up with something. That's the thing. It will always match up with what somebody else did with you and them, because you're still there. You're still in the same position. Little do you know, I feel like people are still in the same position. It's just happening with different people and shit like that. But I just took it. I was just okay with it. You know what I'm saying? And but also at the same time, what I also was thinking that kind of makes so much that kind of makes so much distance and so much room for me to grow outwards of this relationship. It's like you know what I'm saying, they don't know. You feel me? You just don't know until it's there, until you like, oh shit, it was real. You know what I'm saying, this whole time. And I'm a person, like I said, I try to treat people the way I like to be treated. So somebody says leave them alone, I'm gonna get that. You feel me? I'm a oh okay, you said okay, bad. I'm going this way. You know what I mean? But I'm taking everything with me though. You know what I'm saying? Like I bring a lot of shit to the table. I can take all that shit off real easily. You know what I mean? And then you know you act like well all this shit went, but it's like you switched up the table, G. You know what I'm saying? You switch up the table, the whole room is different, the setting is off. You know what I'm saying? But you still expect the same You still expect the same love. You still expect the same, you know what I'm saying, kikiing. You know what I'm saying? Like, the energy will still be there. You know what I'm saying? I can't destroy the energy, but as far as, even the love, like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I know I just said the love, but it's like, you can't really expect the same shit once you switch it up. Like, I don't really know how to say that, explain that better right now, but, you know, it is what it is. And that's just how the friendship went on. You know what I'm saying? I actually was just, I guess I was just talking to my brother about this shit, about like individuality and shit like that. And that's what I think, that's what I'm attracted to too. Something different, somebody that is, you know what I'm saying, individually doing what she wants to do and all this other shit. And I think I have expectations. I always like to say that I don't have expectations for people, but I've recently just learned, and it takes every day to know myself, you feel me? Like, I'm not afraid, I'm not like too shy about like doing that shit and taking the time out to learn myself. Excuse me, but damn, what was I finna say? But yeah, oh yeah, boom. But I have expectations for everybody, like in the world type shit. Like, that's how broad it is. It's so broad that I don't see it and I don't notice my shit no more. Like, it's like, you know, I keep going. I'm gonna just have to keep going. I believe that everything is alive, you know? I believe that everything is alive and everything could help, you know what I'm saying? I think the meaning of life has to do with an equation. And I feel like the equation is sacrifice and help. What was it? Help and sacrifice? And over something. I don't know the other ones, but I feel like it has something to do with help and sacrifice. There's nothing you're going to do in the world that's not going to help anybody. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I noticed that shit a while ago. You know what I'm saying? Really. I noticed that shit a while ago on how, like, everything is for another person. It's like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to walk around and, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to be aware that you're the only person walking on the street. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you are, but it's like, are you the only person? Do you even live on that street? You know what I'm saying? There's so much more going on around one person. I feel like it's impossible to be selfish. You know what I'm saying? But there is healthily selfish things and selfish people and a healthily selfish attitude. And I think that's something I've been trying to get to know, you know what I'm saying, the healthy, selfish attitude that I'm speaking about, because for me, I always think about sharing and I always think about somebody else, you know what I'm saying. I always think about pulling people together, but I kind of stopped doing that because I noticed how little people were doing that, you know what I'm saying, keeping that consistent, you know what I'm saying, consistency up and shit like that. Like, it wasn't really happening the way I thought it was, at least. You know what I'm saying? And as everybody knows, when things don't happen the way you wanted to or when you planned it out to be, everything is a mess. But really, it's more of a transition. You know, it's more of a transition into whatever you want, to be honest. But it is a transition, you know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, it is a transition. I have some lessons and shit. I got some lessons. I mean, not lessons and shit like that, but I got some things that I wrote down in my notes, in my notey-otes. Boom, boom, boom. So I write down daily lessons and shit like that, day-to-day, second lessons. And I think they're going to be called second-to-second lessons now that I just fucking make that shit up. Yeah, I'm good with those names, G. Second-to-second lessons. All right. I get mad. This is one. I get mad when people ask me to do things and I don't want to do it. Right? Like, I don't know why I, like... And it wouldn't be a selfish thing. It'd just be like a... Well, I guess it would be a selfish thing, but it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be, because I just don't want to do it. Like, I mean, and this is the thing, too. It's some things that I'm always say yes to. And I know this about myself. There's some things I'm always say yes to. There's really not a lot of things that I'm gonna say no to. You feel me? But I am gonna say no. You feel me? Like there's so many things. There's things I will always, literally always say yes to. You know what I'm saying? For instance, you know what I'm saying? My people tell me to do some shit, I'm gonna have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's driving them somewhere, cleaning something up, you know what I'm saying? It's family. I kind of just have that mentality in my head. And think about this. You know how I said, like, I think of friends as family. You know what I'm saying? Think of like them. They ask you to do some shit. You're automatically saying yes, but it's like it's a different feeling, and you kind of get the feeling that you're being used. You know what I'm saying? Because you know it's not out of family love. It's out of whatever the fuck they're trying to get. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is sometimes. I'm not gonna say all the time because people are and have different situations. But I know for me, I would feel used because I just know the people that's around me, and I just know that I just know that, you know what I'm saying? I've actually been in a few predicaments like that, you feel me? And I think I should just really start saying that I don't want to do it. You feel me? I think I'm gonna have to peer pressure myself a little bit more to tell somebody no. And I know that's a weird ass thing. It's like hold on now, what did he just say? But it's real though. You know, like I really gotta like step my game up on saying no and saying like I don't want to do it and get myself out of situations because I'll be down for a lot of shit. And that's the thing, I say yes to a lot of shit. Like it's so easy for me to hop on board because of how talented, how imaginative, and how creative I am, and you know what I'm saying. But it's like feeding that and just giving that spark, you know what I'm saying, that's fire that's within you, and let it warm up everybody else. Who's gonna warm yourself up? You feel me? Like who's gonna warm you up? Who's gonna give you the same fire back that you're giving out in the world? And I know there's some friendships like that. Like I used to have a friendship like that, and I still have them. You feel me? But now that I'm older and, you know what I'm saying, I'm not seeing people every day like high school. I'm not even in college right now, so I kind of have to feed my fire a different way. You know what I'm saying? I kind of have to go see my friends and shit like that. And that doesn't, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't make a difference necessarily. Because now I have all this time to, you know what I'm saying, focus on myself and, you know, get to know myself and understand what I'm really about, you know what I'm saying, instead of saying yes to everything. And if I didn't have that if I didn't have that, this time, this opportunity to just like learn myself, then I'm a really, I don't know how it would have been. You feel me? I really don't. But like I said, now that I know, I want to be able to just say like no, and I no, and I don't want to do it. You feel me? And that's a part of this healthily selfish attitude. Because if there's one thing that I'm a ride or die. You feel me? Whatever you need, I'm gonna do it. That's why it's so many things I'm gonna say yes to. It's only like if I really say no, if I really don't want to do it, then chances are I'm probably good. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably good on not doing it, and good in terms of like, yeah, I made the right decision for myself. You feel me? And the right decision for yourself will always look like everything else. You know what I'm saying? Will always look like anything else. Will always look like anything else in everybody else's eyes. But it doesn't matter. You feel me? Like it really doesn't matter what they think. It only matters if you want to do it or not. And in this case, I don't want to do it. Boom. You can't get addicted to sharing your energy. Gee, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I notice things about people. I notice these characteristics on people and shit like that on like, yeah, come over here, be with me. No, you know what? A couple things. So yeah, I have noticed people like, you know what I'm saying, always wanted to be around people and, you know what I'm saying, party this, party that, where we going. I don't want to go. You feel me? And it's just like this no puts me at such a good place in terms of peace. It brings so much peace to me. Like it's unbelievable how I thought how I'm just now finding out what this no can do, and what me saying I don't want to do that to a certain thing could do for me. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit. I just empowered myself low key. But anyways, can't get addicted. You can't get addicted to sharing your own energy, G. Like I will refuse to do that shit. That shit is annoying. You know what I'm saying? That shit is like not the best, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it happens with I feel like gang memorabilia might be a good example. You know what I'm saying? People that's in gangs and shit like that, people that like to party a lot, they're addicted to giving their energy to somebody. And I'm just not addicted. I love my energy. You know what I'm saying? I love what I give to people and shit like that. I love my yeses, my infinite yeses. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love that shit. But once you get addicted to sharing yourself, you're going to lose your fucking mind when you decide to taste the love for yourself. Like, you're gonna be like, what the shit is this? Like, it's great, it's good, but what was it? You feel me? You're not gonna really notice and be able to comprehend love for yourself and what you want for yourself. You know what I mean? Because it gets crazy out here, G. It do. This is a fact. But you know what I'm saying? It also gets crazy in your head. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you find the outlet. You know what I'm saying? However this may look, you find the outlet. And whether the outlet may be sharing people and shit like that, you just can't get addicted to that shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to see somebody. I want to do this. I want to do that. In these quarantine days, it's low-key not even affecting me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, no, it is. It is affected. Financially, yeah. Financially, like, and, you know what I'm saying, career-wise and shit like that, yeah. This shit is bogus as hell. But mentally, I feel like I'm cooling. I feel like I'm in a safe space. You know what I'm saying? And even for a minute, I had to paint over my walls because I was writing really disrespectful things to myself about on the walls and shit like that. And I was like, it was a different area. I had to revamp my fucking room because of how much dirty shit it was in it. You know what I'm saying? How much dirty energy it was in it. It was like, and that's real. You feel me? Like, I feel like people don't really realize what you know what I'm saying, their room can do for them. You know what I'm saying? There's so many, and I'm a person, as you can tell, you know what I'm saying, for me talking about this shit, I draw energy from things and shit like that. I give energy to things. Like, I'm an absorber. I like to say, I like to call myself an absorber. Just because I pick up on hella things, anything, people's energies, side conversations, stares, anything. Like, little hints. If people give me a hint, I look, you know what I'm saying? I'm here with it. You feel me? Like, for real. But, you know, what happens when you're so used to sharing that? What happens when you're addicted to it? You know, shit can get real scary for you. I just feel like shit can get real scary for you, especially if you have all that shit bubbling up and like held inside your room. And every time you go in your room, you feeling that shit. Like, it's your whole mood changes and you don't even know why. And that shit has happened to me multiple times. Like, I'm glad as fuck that I painted my room and shit like that, and I have different things up. I have more art, more of my art. I have this shit. I drew a couple. I mean, I wrote a couple goals on this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to switch it up. You know. But yeah, I did. That's just what had to happen. It's be like that sometimes. All right, boom. Next one. Help never moves for the unwanted. Yeah. The help never moves for the unwanted. That's part one. And then part two is, and niggas wonder why their spoon won't pick up spaghetti. Listen, G. Listen. Why? And this again goes into, I think this may be when he, my friend just told me that shit. Because listen, as a person, as me, I shouldn't even say that, as a person, as me, I love to help. You feel me? One of my greatest parts that I should probably use more is helping people. Is, You know what I'm saying? Whether that be mentally, physically. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, getting people in the right head zone. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people be fucked up. Because I be fucked up out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be depressed. I've touched the bottom of my sea sometimes. You feel me? A couple times and shit like that. But I kept swimming. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kept swimming. I found out it was a boat. I found out it was a shore. I felt like I learned that I didn't even have to swim in the first place. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people just, you know what I'm saying? And it's even worse when you see somebody drowning, you know, and you're like, yo, G, I can help you, G. But I think for the first time, the help was rejected, you know? And that shit is weird, you know what I'm saying? For me, helping, it's like if I was a firefighter and I went to put out a fire and the niggas that was living in the house was already like, yo, we got this. We're putting out the fire right now, G. Why did you even come? And I'm like, wow, you feel me? This bitch is on fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? This motherfucker's in flames. You telling me this fucking fire pit? This, you know what I'm saying? Like, this house of fire is where you're staying and you're putting it out. Okay, that's great. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all I can do is support. I can't really be like, yo, that shit is stupid. But at the same time, niggas wonder why they spooners won't pick up spaghetti. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then you wonder why all this shit is bad for you and bad to you, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, everything hates me, or da-da-da-da. And now you realize that you really filled with negativity. Like, for what? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? And I would hate for me to pick up on that and to me having to say something. We can really choose to say something instead of, like, for it having to be like, okay, now enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather it be consensual than, you know what I'm saying, really be like, yo, an emergency type shit. But, you know, then again, like, people gotta worry about themselves, and this healthily selfish attitude journey that I'm on, you know what I'm saying, as far as my own other journeys, hella journeys, you feel me? I just gotta leave it alone, you feel me, and understand that I got my own things that I need help with, and I got my own things that you know what I'm saying, my own no's and my own rejection to people that help me and shit like that. I always, like I said, like, put in the situation in multiple, giving your situation to multiple actors type shit. Like, this is basically what it is, and I'm like, okay, well, you don't want to read this line with me, bro, I'm Gucci. It could be that. And nostalgia can be seductive. I used to have this real toxic relationship, and we were fucking all the time, and I took her virginity, but I did, you know what I'm saying, and that plays a fucking big role in females' hearts, you know what I'm saying, to anybody's heart, you know what I'm saying. This particular one, it's a female, and I don't know if that did something, but from now on, I don't know if that did something to her, for her to act like this, but from now on, I would rather be with a more experienced person, because I'm experienced. I was, you know, sexual, like, at a very young age. We don't have to get into it, but it's just like, you know, they don't know what to do, and now they're like, I don't know. In terms of this quote, this prompt, nostalgia can be seductive, I kind of kept going back to it. You feel me? We had some really great times that I really wish we had taken pictures of. I really wish, you know what I'm saying, we had some more videos, because it lasts longer. You feel me? In the sense of a picture, it lasts longer. I wish we could have had that shit. But it ended up not lasting long at all. I actually fucked it up. You know what I'm saying? Which is ironic. But I actually fucked it up. You know? And to this day, we both are thinking, like, what if I didn't fuck up? How would we be? What would we be like right now? You know? Because we both know how terrible it is now. So, like, damn, what if? But that's, again, just a if thought, you know what I'm saying, whatever the fuck that is. But at the same time, boom, the point of the matter is is that we have been doing this going back to back forth. Like we recently just stopped. You know what I mean? And I kind of know her. Like really looking back on it, it's actually a long time where I was, just like being with her. Like it was a minute. We had a minute. We had more than a minute. We had an hour. We had a day. We had, all that shit in place. But the more we kept trying to make us better, the worse we got. And as much as we were both trying, it kind of rotten the relationship just as much. You know what I'm saying? To put it in the most simplest way, like it just didn't do what we both thought it was, and nostalgia, the perfect moments we were always trying to relive and go back to, but it was always something about her. It was always something about me, and it was like wasn't working out. It didn't work out at all, and I think in the middle of it, we both kind of knew, and sometimes we would cry together. Sometimes we would really like get down with each other and just like really open our hearts to people. I mean, to each other and shit like that. It wasn't going anywhere though. It was like a flower that you would water every day at a certain time, right? Watering the plant. After like 5 years, it didn't go anywhere. And it's like literally up to your ankle. You feel me? And you gotta grow this bitch for a project due tonight. You know what I mean? Like it's like a whole bunch of shit. You can't really waste time, and but you also are aware of the time that's already been wasted. Like, how do you fight that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you attack with next? You know what I'm saying? Like, this doesn't work. And eventually, you gotta storm another castle. You feel me? You can't even. There's nothing I can do here. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really win with that. You know what I'm saying? With that thought that you've done everything you can, it is not going to happen right now, at least. And you gotta walk away from it. And I think that's the best thing that could happen, and that's the best thing I can learn. You know what I'm saying? From a person that's so committed, easily in love with anything they do. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm committed 100% to things that only give me 2. You know what I'm saying? So it's really important for me to know and love the understandment of just letting go, of just not dealing with it, of just saying okay, and let that okay speak for everything. Let that okay breathe. Let that okay do what it do. This has been Taking Back Radio. I gotta do these bitches more. You feel me? It's quarantine. I ain't got no excuse. No, you know what I'm saying? I got no more excuses. I was working and shit like that, going out, but now niggas is in the crib. So I'm gonna make one tonight. Tomorrow morning. Fuck it, I'll make one tomorrow morning. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Something that I don't think people know. I love people. You know what I'm saying? At the end of every one of these, I say something that I don't think people know about me. You feel me? Last year I was doing it. It was like, what do I want? You feel me? But now it's about self and what, one thing that I don't think people know about me is that I love people, folks. Like I really do. I really love people. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta work that out. You feel me? Because you can't love everybody. You can't. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, even that I gotta figure out. But I got a love for some people, for everybody really. Nobody's excluded. That's me though. I'm gonna give you guys something great to listen out on. This has been Away by Brent Fiaz. Thank you for tuning in. This is Taking Back Radio. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking in. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Thank y'all. Take me back, radio.
I know I've been away. I'm just trying to get my paper straight, girl. Don't give my shit away. I'm just trying to get my paper straight, girl. I know I've been away. I'm just trying to get my paper straight, girl. Don't give my shit away. I'm just trying to get my paper straight, girl. They just wanna fuck with you.